All right, so now we're looking at rule number 4, Symbolizer. Now, Symbolizer, a symbolizer, someone who thinks, talks, or sees in symbols. For example, oftentimes I will, so oftentimes think of Harry Potter, not oftentimes, excuse me, think of Harry Potter. In Harry Potter, the wand, Harry Potter's wand, is not just a wand. It symbolizes power. It symbolizes importance. It symbolizes connection between him and Lord Voldemort, okay? So a symbolizer, a symbol is something that represents more than what it is. So a symbol, a tangible, let's see, yeah, something that represents more than what it actually is. Okay? So again, don't forget all this stuff. Chapter 1 here, we don't have numbers, but it's just numbers. Step 1, choose the big idea or theme of this chapter. Hint, what did the character learn in this chapter? What was the most important event, and what is the author really trying to teach us about this? Think big. We've got this big idea bank in here. You'll be able to just circle keywords that you think are a big idea bank, and then you can also come up with your own down here. And I'm okay with being, even though this person isn't the visualizer, I'm okay with you guys drawing an image, drawing a symbol of something, or copying and paste images from the internet that represent one of these things. Like maybe forgiveness, you can put a hug in there if you want, a picture of two people hugging. You don't have to, I'm just saying, I'm leaving the option here because a lot of people really like pictures. So what did the character learn? So as we are filling out this chart and discussing it, we need to think about Jonas. What does he learn in this chapter? He learns a lot of things, but what are the big idea banks? I would say he doesn't necessarily learn about family. We're switching gears here with the pen. He learns, or friendship, he learns about family because he learns that his dad did not actually, or he learned that his dad always wanted to be a nurturer. He didn't know that. So he learns about family. And then you can even say, Dad always wanted to be a nurturer. He's kind of learning about trust, that he has to trust the community. Okay, he has to trust the community and that they will get him the job that he needs. Faith, forgiveness, freedom, adventure. I'd say this is not a chapter that looks at adventure. This is not a chapter that looks at death. It doesn't necessarily look at overcoming, but there's foreshadowing that this might be a theme coming up because he has to have trust for this community. What happens if he gets a job that he doesn't like? He's going to have to overcome other stuff. This chapter is definitely about growing up. All right, so go through the rest of these. I'd like you to try to come up with at least 2 more big idea banks. Excuse me, big ideas that this chapter is about for you. Now, you are different from everybody else in this classroom, so everybody's going to have different answers. There's no right answer here as long as you can explain it. And I'm going to write that here. No wrong answer as long as you can explain it. Okay? So as long as you'll be able to point to the text. So if, I would say that death isn't this, But if you can point to the text and find something that says, well, it's kind of about death here because of blah, 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 then I'll be like, oh, okay, you're reading differently than me, and that's great. Let's go for it. So then down here, one big idea of this chapter is you'll choose one of these that you wrote or that you highlighted or that you circled, and you're going to explain why you're focusing on that one. So, for example, one big idea of this chapter is family because Jonas learns that his dad always wanted to be a nurturer and he didn't know that originally. Stuff like that. Step 2. Think of a specific symbol, object, item, place, person, time, etc. in this chapter that represents the big idea theme. What is the symbol and how does it represent the big idea theme from this chapter? If we're talking about family, and family is the big idea here, then we could think of a specific symbol, object, item, place. So we've got an object, item, place can be both tangible, but a time is not tangible. So it can be tangible or, darn it, I am being so bad, inconsistent. Tangible or intangible. And this is important because I would say the specific symbol that represents family is going to be the telling of feelings. That is a place. It's not necessarily a place, but it's a time because it happens in the evening. It's an event, and it represents more than just the telling of feelings. It represents family getting to know each other. It represents authenticity within that family. It represents, to a certain extent, a little bit of trust because the family has to trust each other. So I would say, what is the symbol and how does it represent? I would write, but I want you to choose something else, the family of the specific symbol of the ritual telling of feelings is the big idea, and it represents family and trust because blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now, step number 3, get creative. This is going to be the most exciting for me to read about. Think of a symbol in your own life that represents this big idea theme for you. What is the symbol and how does it represent the big idea? So, we're looking at family here for me. This is something that I see. So for me, I would say, here is my green pen, your own life. That represents the big idea for you. I would say that what represents family for me is probably my dining table. So I would say my dining table represents family because it is when we all get together and have fun. Okay, so that's for me, that's not for you. I want you to leave this section blank and actually write down your own answer for what represents whatever big idea you chose to focus on. All right, thank you. Remember that your first line of defense against questions is going to be the Schoology discussion post. All right, bye.